Hey everybody, I'm here today to show you how to turn safely. In this video, I'll be going over my methods for turning safely and my process for turning safely, and I'll be instructing you with that process. Now let's get right to it. I'll be going over a few different types of turns. I'll be going over just regular turns that you're taking with your car, turning right, turning left, and so forth. And then I'll be going over some sharper turns like parking the car, pulling into a driveway, maybe pulling a U-turn, or even pulling a three-point turn. So with that being said, let's get right to it. The key with turning safely is number one, doing your safety checks. Okay. Number two, letting everyone else know that you plan on turning. And number three, actually steering and maneuvering the car safely in a smooth and safe manner. So let's get right to it. I'm going to start driving and I'm going to try and go over this as thoroughly and at the same time as quickly as possible. Now the camera might be a little bit shaky, but you should still be able to tell exactly what I'm doing, how I'm explaining it, and I'll be explaining everything that I'm doing. So let's get right to it. Let's put the car in drive and let's go ahead. The first thing that I'll start with is just a slight turn of the steering wheel, which is pulling away from the curb. So I'm going to put my signal on, which is part of the safety check, my left signal. I'm going to check my rear view mirror, my left side mirror, my right side mirror, make sure that there's no obstructions, and then I can see that there's a car approaching. So I'm just going to give that car a few seconds. It actually just turned into a driveway, so I can see there are no cars at this point. I'm now going to check my left blind spot, my right blind spot, which is just a simple shoulder check, and then I'm going to pull away from the curb. Now to do that, I'm just going to pull a little bit to the side, as you can see, just a fraction of a turn, and I'm going to accelerate, and I turn my signal off. Now I'm driving straight, okay? So once again, this is a very simple process. What you want to do is you want to put your turn signal on, you want to do all of your safety checks, which entails checking your mirrors, and also your blind spot. And you don't always have to check all of your mirrors. Sometimes you only have to check your rear view mirror and one of the side mirrors, and sometimes you're gonna have to check your rear view mirror and both of the side mirrors. It all depends on the situation, okay? And then your blind spot check, and then you're gonna proceed to turn or steer the car. Now what I'm gonna do now is I'm actually gonna make a turn onto a road over here, and this is a relatively sharper than average turn, so you'll see what I'm doing right here. I'm going to put my turn signal on, my left signal, to let everyone know that I'm turning left. I'm going to come to a complete stop at the stop sign. I'm going to check my mirrors, just like I'm doing right now, my center mirror, my left side mirror, my blind spot, and I'm going to turn the steering wheel. Now, as you can see right here, the key is to turn the steering wheel and hold it and then release it. Now, throughout the turn, you can make little micro adjustments as needed, but you want to get your driver skill level to the point where you can pretty much just turn the steering wheel and know that if you hold it in that position, you're gonna make the turn safely and smoothly. You don't wanna be adjusting throughout the entire turn. I'll do the same thing right now, okay? As you can see, holding it in position and release when you've completed the turn. It's literally that simple, but you have to practice to get your driver's skill level to be at that point. Now here's going to be a rolling turn. Signal, mirrors, blind spot. Use my hands to turn smoothly and then release. And as you can see there, the key is to get your turns to the point where you can turn and hold it in position and then release. That should be your goal. Now it's going to take some practice, obviously, and you're going to have to keep practicing until you can do that. Now this is a little bit of like a roundabout kind of turn. It's like a crescent street. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to turn around here. You'll see. I'm holding it. I know that I can hold it here and make this turn, make micro adjustments, and then I release. Just like that. Now what I'll do is I'll make a sharper turn into a driveway. Okay, so I'm going to pull into a driveway and make a sharper turn, and then when I have to reverse out, I'm going to do the same thing. So let's put my right signal on, mirrors, blind spot, sharp turn into the driveway, just like that, sharp turn. Okay, now I'm going to reverse out of the driveway, so I'm straightening my wheel, reversing, checking, my mirrors, turning my head around, and then when I've cleared the curb, I can just crank that steering wheel just like that. Okay, that's an example of a very sharp turn. Now all the way, just like that. Very simple. Okay, now once again I'm going to do a little the same crescent turn over here. So I'm going to make this first part of the turn just like that and release. Okay, and I'm going to do this turn again. Now you'll see that the key to turning safely and smoothly is to be able to hold the steering wheel in position, make your turn, and then release. And the reason is because when you're not having to focus on continually turning the steering wheel and adjusting it throughout the turn, you're able to look at the road. If I'm making a turn and I don't know, like I'm going like this, I don't know what to do, then I can't look at the road in front of me because I'm focused on smoothing out my turn. So I would recommend practicing until you get your turns down pat, and that's the key. So once again, come to a complete stop, signal, center mirror, left mirror, blind spot check on my left, and I can now make the turn. Now you can see this is a little bit of a sharper turn. So what I'll do is I'll just continue making these turns so you can see some examples of how much I'm turning my steering wheel and how I'm holding it in position. Here's once again a little bit of a sharper turn. Right signal, mirrors, blind spot, and turn. Just like that. Now, another thing that I should talk about is holding the steering wheel before the turn. So, I would recommend holding the steering wheel just like this, sort of the 9 and 3 position or the 10 and 2 position. And then if you're making sharp turns, I would recommend, there are a few different methods that you can use. I'm gonna just make a veer to the left over here. So once again, just like this. Now, I would recommend hand over hand if you're making your turns, especially if they're sharper turns. But there are a few different methods that you can use that are sort of commonly accepted. What you should do, especially if you're going to get your license soon, you're going for your test soon, is see what method is commonly recommended where you live. So right now, I'm going to turn right, signal, mirrors, blind spot check, clear of traffic. And as you can see, I did some hand over hand right there because it's a sharper turn, and I release just like that. Now I'm going to make this left turn right here. Left signal, center mirror, left mirror, blind spot check on my left, and I'm rolling this turn because it's not a stop sign. It's just defog the windows over here, just like that. It's a very simple process, but that is how to turn safely. Now, what you don't want to do, like I said, is you don't want to continually have to adjust your steering wheel back and forth, because that's going to cause you to have to focus on the turn, and that's not what you want to do. You want to be able to focus on the safety of the turn, doing your checks throughout the turn, focusing on the traffic and the pathway of the turn. Just like this. So you want to get to the point and practice turning until you can turn smoothly, just like this. Hold it in position and release, just like that. It's so simple, but the key is you have to practice. Practice is going to be your ally, your best friend in this situation. And that's basically it. In this video, I've told you how to turn safely, okay? Now here's an example of a very quick lane change into the right turning lane, just like that. I put my signal on, I did my mirror check and my blind spot check, and now I'm rolling this turn because there's no stop sign. And that's basically it. I'm not going to go through it more times because I think I've already gone through it quite a bit in this video. But I've told you how to turn safely. It's a very simple process, and I've outlined the steps for turning a car safely. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Let me know what you think down below as a comment. What are some of your tips for turning a car safely? And also, of course, be sure to subscribe for more great car and driving videos just like this one. And that's all I have for you today. Thanks for watching.